I did a tandem jump out of a plane. One of the guys there that was the organizer, I latched onto him. Like, it was really great. He was such a nice guy, Mr. Mark Brown. He was retired at 40. He owned a software company where he designed computer systems back in the 80s, early 80s. So very crude computer systems, and made a ton of money. Bought a bunch of real estate, retired at 40, and lived off the income of the houses, the rental income from the houses. I said, teach me how you do this. What do I got to do? And Mark, being a very simple, direct person, he goes, well, first thing you got to do is you got to start a business.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Estate Pro Show. I'm your host, Erika, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by Josh Fisher, who's been making serious moves in the flipping space. Josh, it's so great to have you on our show today.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me.
So let's dive in. I know you have a very unique story when it comes to how you got into real estate. So tell us how, because I'm not sure too many other people have the same story as you.
Certainly. Yeah. So it all started, I was living in Southern California, and I had a day where I went, man, I want to go do something fun. Looked online and decided to go do a skydive. I did a tandem jump out of a plane. I landed and went, this was so much fun. How do I do this every day? I went, got my license, and one of the groups from the drop zone there, they have this thing called load organizing program where you show up and you go, they love to jump with the newer skydivers. As soon as you get your license, they'll teach you how to be better, how to be safer. And one of the guys there that was the organizer, I latched onto him. Like, it was really great. He was such a nice guy, Mr. Mark Brown. He was retired at 40. He owned a software company where he designed computer systems back in the 80s, early 80s. So very crude computer systems, and made a ton of money. Bought a bunch of real estate, retired at 40, and lived off the income of the houses, the rental income from the houses. And I met this guy, and I went, that's cool. I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't know that was a thing. And I went to Mark and I said, teach me how you do this. What do I got to do? And Mark, being a very simple, direct person, he goes, well, first thing you got to do is you got to start a business. And I said, well, what kind of business do I start? And he goes, what do you know how to do? I know how to fix stuff. And he goes, well, do that. So I started an electronics repair shop where I would fix odds and ends electronics. If you couldn't find a place to fix it, I'll take a look at it. That got going, and he said, and I went back to Mark and I said, so great, what do I do now? And he goes, well, you got to buy a house. And I went, okay, I'll go talk to a real estate agent. And I was so surprised when I didn't have a ton of money at the time, and I talked to a real estate agent and I says, I really want to buy a house. And she goes, great, how much money you put down? And I said, well, not really very much. She says, perfect, you're the kind of person I want to work with. And I went, okay. I got into my first unit at in 2020 March, right during the crazy COVID times, and ran the business. The business went really well. Ran that for about 5 years. That was in Southern California. I had some family issues up in Oregon, So I've actually moved to Oregon. The business had to go. I didn't have quite the time to sell it or exit it, so I ended up shutting it down. But yeah, Mark Brown is Mark Brown was the reason I got into investing, and certainly gave me some purpose and some drive in life. So that's how I got started.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
That's awesome. And when it comes to your real estate investing, what drew you to the properties that you have now?
So what initially drew me to this particular property I have is I thought it's in a good location. It's inexpensive enough that I can get into it. It's in a nice enough area that I won't hate living here. And I was buying it really to kind of live in it and do like a house hacking thing. And then I learned pretty early on that I don't really like living with renters. So that changed the game a little bit. Yeah, what was on the market at the time, it was in my price range. And I didn't do any deal analysis. I didn't try to figure out what rents should cost. I went, hey, this is a cool property. Let's buy this one. I can just rent out a room. So certainly there was some luck involved there. I'll be honest, the other part of it was it's right across the street from a grocery store, and that was super convenience for me because I thought, man, I can just walk to the store. Certainly not the greatest reasons to buy into a place, but at the time, I didn't really know any better, so it's what you get.
So, Josh, with the deals that you've done, can you share a quick story? Maybe there was one that taught you a big lesson, or you felt like it was a major win?
So I can tell you about the deals. I would say the most important ones are the deals that I haven't done. After the first one, and then it was like, all right, I need to start getting into really learning what I'm doing. I took a couple of free webinars to learn how to analyze deals because I realized that you don't make the money just by getting lucky, right? It's all a whole math thing, and you figure out, what can you buy the place for? What is it going to cost to fix it up if you're going to rehab it? Or are you going to wholesale? Like whatever your strategy is, you got to know what you're going to make walking into the thing. Now that could change a little bit, but it's not just, hey, I'm going to buy this place and see if I can make it make money. You got to know ahead of time. And so once I did that first deal, it was like, oh, I got to figure this out. So I've passed up a lot of deals and I'm really happy about that. Every time I say no to something, I feel like, that learning stuff is starting to pay off.
Yeah, awesome. Now, it's tricky managing all of those properties. Do you have any advice for people who are just getting started, how to keep that machine running smoothly?
Yeah, so I don't have a ton of properties at the moment. I do have a couple of ideas. And so thinking back to what Mark would tell me is get going, right? Action, 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 make it happen. And then my thing is once you're burdened with managing properties, find a solution that helps you, whether it be, do you want to hire a management company, which is what he did. He hired a management company and says, I don't want to deal with this. Take whatever it is, 10, 20% of the income and just handle it. Now for me, I would never get a management company because I would rather, I'll deal with the legwork so that I can keep all of the profits and whatnot, or if there is profit. I do all the repairs. At some point when I'm big enough and I can support having people do the work for me, then we'll move into that. But my strategy has been do it all yourself and then figure out what you absolutely don't want to do and then start hiring that out when you have the income flowing. And then at some point when you have a lot of doors, I would say I want to get a management system or some sort of computerized thing that says these are all the properties. This is, I can put in the income and see what everything's doing, but I'm just not there yet. So I see no reason for me personally to get that level of detail yet.
Yeah.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
I want to go back to that mentor that you had talked about, which
Absolutely.
I'm still thinking that's just such a crazy story.
Yeah.
But when it comes to him, was there like one piece of advice that has really stuck with you on your journey?
I would say there's not. The one piece of advice that I can give was really how he presented himself. His thing was it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what kind of business you start. It doesn't matter how you do it. The most important thing is just starting. Just do. I would ask him, I'm trying to grow my business. How do I grow my business? And he would never say, okay, well, here, you need to go talk to these guys and you go open this and do that. He goes, well, what you should do is try things. Just try stuff. Anything. If you can think of it, do it. And then he'll say, did it work? And you go, well, yeah, it worked. And he goes, great, do more of that. And you might say, no, I didn't get any leads. I walked around all day and I handed out business cards and no, not a single person called me. And he goes, okay, well, do less of that. And so, there's kind of two things there. One, action. Two, if it works, do more. If it doesn't work, do less. And he was great at boiling things down into this is all it is. And it really is. That's basically business in a nutshell.
Yeah, totally. Josh, I know you've been choosy about which deals you've decided to work with. How do you stay disciplined when you're evaluating a deal to make sure that you're not taking on a project that's more trouble than it's worth?
Those are some great questions. I would say, speaking of the last, I just went and looked at a house a couple days ago, and in that particular situation, there was an exorbitant amount of work that needed to be done. The house was in relatively good condition. The property was not. And I thought there needs to be, start putting some quick numbers down, and I'm going, there's a lot of money to be made on this deal, but there's also a lot to be spent to get it where it needs to be. And so, initially it was like, wow, I could make a lot of money on this deal. And so that emotion of being like, ooh, yeah, let's, I'm getting excited. Let's go. I had to bring the logical Mr. Logic from my brain and say, okay, we remember, run the numbers. We're not buying on emotion here. We're an investor. We're buying on logic, paper, money. What is this going to do for me in the long run? Not how is it going to make me feel in the short term? So it's a disciplined practice. It certainly is. And I can't say that I'm perfect with this, but I think for me, it's recognizing when I'm feeling the emotion of like excitement and combat that with, let's run the numbers. What do the numbers say? Let's get excited about the numbers. Let's get excited about what the bottom line is, not what does it look like initially.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm sure, as you already know with what you were saying with your having a mentor help you start your journey, relationships are everything in real estate and business. And I know you have done some networking before in real estate groups. Can you share another example of a key relationship that's helped grow or shape your business?
Another key relationship. So the first thing that comes to mind is I like to do a lot more learning. For instance, I really like Tony Robbins and what he does. I kind of went down a bit of a rabbit hole with him or with his program some time ago, and it's great stuff, but you can certainly get sucked into the vortex of buy everything. And I was like, I don't need to do that. I think it's really great. It's learning. You can't go, as far as I know, you can't go to college and say, yeah, teach me how to invest in real estate. As far as I know, there's no classes in college that do that. They don't teach you in high school. They don't teach any of that stuff. So where do you go to learn about it? There's tons of free information. The bigger pocket stuff I'm excited about. The Investor Fuel, right? You guys have got tons and tons of podcasts, and I listen to those. So being a sponge and learning, I would say really is where I learn the most from how to do, where I'm going, how to analyze, things like that. I wouldn't say that I have another mentor or anybody particular that I go to at the moment, But I would say for me, it's the forum. If I had a question that I just absolutely couldn't figure out, it would either be, let's go to a meetup, ask 2 or 3, 4 people and see what you get from that. Or the forums, find a real estate forum that you love and build some relationships there.
Yeah, totally. Josh, what do you see next on the horizon? What is the next big goal that you're going towards?
Wonderful. Yeah, I'm glad you asked. I am pivoting I was looking into houses and flips and analyzed a lot of deals. I'm pivoting a little bit. So
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
I had another experience while I was in Southern California with my business. Is the guy I was renting from owned an electronics parts store, and there was a potential deal of them basically giving me a business because he wanted somebody to continue the legacy and continue to run it and it would be like pennies on the dollar. And at the time I thought, oh, this is really great, right? I can jump into this business. Business is profitable. It's quite profitable. And to get it for such a great price, this would be a wonderful thing. And then the more I was in that mode and thinking and talking with him, I was basically in the process of this deal for like 2 years. I realized that there's a ton of businesses out there, the baby boomer generation, everybody's trying to retire. And a lot of the parents, the kids don't want the business. And so they've got multiple 100,000, 6, 7, 8-figure businesses that they either have to try to sell to somebody or shut it down because their kids don't want it. So when they retire, they go, well, I'm done. They throw in the towel. And so I'm looking at, instead of flipping houses, into either buying and holding businesses or buying and building up businesses. Because of my experience I had a shop for 5 years I was around this particular business I was around them for about 5 years, but I was actually in the process of the deal for about 2 years. And then I had my family thing that kind of threw a wrench into that. So that's my new strategy, is I'm pivoting a little bit and we're heading more towards acquiring businesses.
That's exciting. And as far as the business aspect goes, what are you looking for in a business? Because I'm sure that's pretty different than the residential space.
For sure. Yeah. So I find there's a lot more wiggle room on businesses in terms of price, right? Because with real estate, what I was finding is as the interest rates go up, the market gets a little drier. You almost need to pivot and start looking at like off-market deals. How do you drum up your own stuff? Do you have to start, however that works? It gets a little harder with businesses. I find that you don't have quite that much swing, especially when you're looking for something's been established for 10 plus years. I mean, some of these businesses the one that I was looking at had been running for 60 years. I mean, they had people that would show up there. They're like, I haven't been here for 30 years. I mean, they've got a customer base. They're not going anywhere. So there's a ton of things that I look for. Has it been in business for over 10 years? Is it, what's the difference between the cost of the acquisition versus the yearly cash flow? What's the spread on that? What's the assets? How many employees are there? Are you buying a business that has 1 or 2 employees? Great, you're buying a job. Are you buying a business that has 10 plus employees? You're potentially walking into a business ownership type position versus business operator, business owner. So those are the things that I'm looking for specifically. On my business, it was just me. I did have some employees from time to time, but I owned a job. And I went, this wasn't what I was quite looking for. We need to step into the business ownership and starting to learn how to do that. So yeah, those are a few things that I'm looking for when I'm analyzing deals for purchasing businesses.
Those are some really solid insights, Josh. Before we wrap up, if someone wants to reach out, connect, learn more about what you're doing, what's the best way for them to get in touch?
Well, probably Instagram or Facebook, any of the social media platform. Well, Facebook, Instagram. Do I currently have a website? My website my business website, I think we just took it down from my old business. So yeah, I would say Instagram or Facebook would be just send me a message.
Yeah, I'm not sure we'll have them in the comments, so that might be a
For
good
sure.
time to
Yeah,
do.
so my Instagram is josh.fisher42. It's got a bunch of skydiving stuff on there, so when you see jumps out of planes, probably the right one. And then I'm just Josh Fisher on Facebook. I think it's Facebook/Josh Fisher.
Excellent. Josh, I appreciate your time sharing your story and your perspective. We need more people in this space with a clear vision like you.
Wonderful. Yeah, thanks for having me.
And for those of you tuning in, if you got value from this episode, make sure that you're subscribed to the Real Estate Pro Show. We've got more conversations coming out with fantastic people building amazing real estate empires. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.